Allow me to take you back to the late 1960s, where a young man named Phil Knight had what he called a crazy idea. Imagine a time when most athletic shoes were clunky, heavy, and well, not very athletic. Now picture a young Phil Knight, a passionate runner himself, who had this wild thought. What if he could import high-quality, low-cost athletic shoes from Japan? Yes, Japan, a country known for its exquisite sushi and advanced technology, but certainly not for its athletic shoes. Well, not back then at least. You can bet that when Knight shared this idea, he was met with skepticism, even ridicule. "Japanese shoes? You've got to be kidding me," they probably said. But Knight, he didn't let the naysayers get to him. He believed in his idea. He believed in the potential of these shoes. And that's just it. That's what set Phil Knight apart. He was willing to bet on this crazy idea. He was willing to go against the grain, to challenge the status quo. And it's a good thing he did, because this crazy idea was the seed that grew into the multi-billion-dollar global company we know today as Nike. From Phil's crazy idea, we draw our first lesson. Trust your ideas. Phil Knight, a young man with a passion for running and a knack for business, saw potential in Japanese running shoes. Despite the widespread skepticism, he trusted his gut, his idea. He believed that these shoes could revolutionize the running world, and he was right. Anecdotes from the book Shoe Dog reveal how Phil faced numerous rejections and close calls with failure. He was even laughed out of rooms, but he held firm to his belief in his idea. He persevered, and his idea eventually gave birth to Nike, a global sportswear giant we all know and admire today. This goes to show just how powerful an idea can be when you trust in it, nurture it, and fight for it. Even if the world thinks you're crazy, if you believe in your idea, don't let anything stop you. Our second lesson from Phil Knight's journey is embrace risks. Now let's delve into the story of Nike's birth, a tale that's a testament to the power of risk-taking. Phil Knight, a fresh Stanford graduate, ventured into the unknown, fueled by a crazy idea. Imagine being a young entrepreneur in the 1960s, borrowing $50 from your father to buy Japanese running shoes, then selling them from the trunk of your car. Sounds risky, doesn't it? But that's exactly what Phil did, and he didn't stop there. He borrowed heavily to fund his business, placing himself on the brink of bankruptcy multiple times. Each loan, every dollar invested, was a risk, but Phil trusted his crazy idea. He believed in the potential of his product and his vision for a brand that could rival the existing giants. But here's the catch. These weren't blind leaps of faith. Phil's risks were calculated. He knew his product, understood his market, and believed in his team. He wasn't just throwing caution to the wind, he was strategically positioning his pieces on the chessboard of business. Without risk, there is no reward. So don't be afraid to take calculated risks. The third lesson we learn from Phil's journey is perseverance is key. This is a theme that runs like a pulsating vein throughout his memoir. Phil faced numerous challenges and close calls with failure, but he never gave up. Let's delve into a few examples. In the early days of Nike, Phil was constantly battling financial troubles. He was juggling funds between banks, often on the brink of bankruptcy. Yet, he kept pushing forward, driven by his belief in his crazy idea. Then, there were the legal battles with Onitsuka, the Japanese company that initially supplied him with shoes. These battles could have sunk the company, but Phil persevered, refusing to back down. And let's not forget the countless times he had to convince skeptical investors and disbelieving stakeholders. Each time, he met these challenges with unwavering determination and relentless resolve. His journey wasn't an overnight success story. It was a marathon, filled with hurdles and stumbling blocks, but his perseverance saw him through. Remember, the road to success is often paved with failures, so never give up. Lesson number 4 from Phil's journey is the power of teamwork. You see, Phil didn't build Nike alone. He had a group of dedicated individuals who he lovingly referred to as his butt faces. These were not just employees, but true partners, each bringing their unique skills and talents to the table. One such story involves Jeff Johnson, one of the first employees of Nike. He was not just a salesman, but also an ideas man. He came up with the name Nike and designed several early shoe models. He even transformed his own home into one of Nike's first retail outlets. Then there was Bob Woodell, a former high jumper who, despite a tragic accident, made significant contributions to Nike's operational management. And let's not forget the Japanese manufacturers who believed in Phil's crazy idea and became integral parts of the Nike story. Phil knew that the strength of the team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team. This belief in the power of teamwork was a cornerstone of Nike's success. Remember, together everyone achieves more. So build a strong team. Our fifth lesson from Phil's journey is learn from your competitors. Phil Knight, the visionary behind Nike, understood the value of learning from his competitors. He didn't view Adidas and Puma as mere rivals. They were sources of education. In the high-stakes world of athletic footwear, he observed their strategies, their successes, and their failures, and used these insights to inform his own decisions. Take, for example, when he noticed the popularity of Adidas's three-stripe design. Instead of dismissing it, he studied it, eventually coming up with Nike's iconic swoosh. This wasn't mimicry, it was strategic learning. He saw what worked, understood why it worked, and then applied that knowledge in a unique and innovative way. And it wasn't just about design. Phil also learned valuable lessons about marketing, distribution, and customer relations from his competitors. This competitive intelligence helped shape Nike into the global brand it is today. So, the next time you look at your competitors, don't just see them as adversaries. See them as teachers. Learn from their successes, their mistakes, and their strategies. Remember, your competitors can be your best teachers, so keep your eyes open. Lesson number 6 from Phil's journey is the importance of branding. Phil Knight, the mastermind behind Nike, didn't simply sell shoes. He sold a brand, a lifestyle, a story. He knew that a brand is more than just a name or a logo. It's about creating an emotional connection with your customers. It's about standing out in a crowded market. In the book, Phil talks about the birth of the Nike brand and the iconic "Just Do It" slogan. He understood that people don't buy products, they buy identities. When people see the Nike swoosh, they don't just see a shoe. They see an athlete, a champion, a dream. That's the power of branding. Phil knew that a strong brand can create loyal customers who are not just buying your product, but buying into your story. This was a game changer for Nike. It wasn't just about selling more shoes. It was about creating an identity that people wanted to be a part of. Remember, a strong brand can make all the difference. So invest in your brand. Our final lesson from Phil's journey is stay passionate. Passion, my friends, is not just a word. It's the fire that lights up your soul and keeps you going when the world says you can't. Phil Knight's passion for running and sports was not just a hobby. It was the driving force behind the creation of Nike. His love for the sport was so intense that it led him halfway across the world to Japan, where he found the inspiration to start his own shoe company. In Phil's memoir, he shares an anecdote about running in the dead of night, under the rain, just to feel the exhilaration of the sport, the rhythm of his heart matching his footfalls. This passion for running was not something that faded with time. Instead, it grew, it evolved, and it became Nike. Phil's passion was his compass, guiding him through the toughest challenges. It was his passion that pushed him to keep going, to keep innovating, and to keep striving for excellence, even when faced with obstacles that seemed insurmountable. So, what's your passion? What's the thing that keeps you up at night, that drives you to push beyond your limits? Whatever it is, hold on to it. Nurture it. Let it guide you just as Phil's passion guided him. Remember, passion is the fuel that drives success. So, stay passionate about what you do. So, those were the 7 key lessons from Phil Knight's journey with Nike. From trusting your ideas, no matter how crazy they might seem, to embracing risks and persevering through the toughest of times. We've seen how the power of teamwork can elevate an idea, and how learning from your competitors can be a game changer. We've learned the undeniable importance of branding and the need to stay passionate about your vision. Each of these lessons is a testament to Knight's incredible journey, but more than that, they serve as valuable insights for anyone looking to make their mark. Whether you're on the brink of starting your own venture or seeking ways to improve an existing one, these lessons can guide you. They're not just about building a successful business, they're about the pursuit of a dream, the resilience to hold onto it, and the courage to see it through. Remember, as Phil Knight said, play by the rules, but be ferocious. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's your crazy idea? Comment below and let's learn from each other.